They are connected.
Pessoal, bom dia. Sejam todos bem-vindos a essa sessão que nós vamos considerar uma sessão histórica, não querendo parecer que é uma pretensão muito grande. A gente tentou buscar na literatura médica, na literatura da parte educacional, e a gente não encontrou nenhuma experiência com transmissão holográfica para transmissão de conteúdo médico na literatura. Então, essa aqui, vocês estão participando de uma experiência, é a primeira vez, a gente fez vários testes e esperamos que vá funcionar bem. E, infelizmente, essa sessão vai ser feita em inglês. Espero que todos aqui compreendam razoavelmente a língua, porque a gente vai estar fazendo um contato com o pessoal da Clínica Mayo. Apesar de termos como nossa fonte de contato a professora Giselle Coelho, que é brasileira, a gente vai estar participando junto com o professor Freeman, que é o grande mentor desses projetos de tecnologia da Clínica Mayo, e, obviamente, em respeito a ele, a gente vai fazer a sessão em inglês. Então, eu peço desculpa para vocês, mas já aviso que a gente está presenciando uma coisa que é uma grande novidade, e também, para vocês saberem, eu vou depois repetir isso, essa sessão está sendo conjunta. Nesse exato momento, está tendo uma sessão na Clínica Mayo, é um curso que eles fazem de Healthcare Simulation, ou seja, é um curso de simulação em saúde. Então, a transmissão daqui está sendo passada agora para o curso deles também, então é paralela à sessão. Tá? Então, a partir de agora, a gente vai estar falando em inglês. I would like to start calling to the stage Professor Giselle, Professor Freeman. It's great to have you here.
Welcome from the North Hemisphere.
So, welcome to the opening of the 4th G7 Summit. This is a joint session together with G7 Summit. We have the Florida Healthcare Simulation Alliance course at the Sim Center Mayo Clinic in Florida. I'm Eduardo Calliari. I'm a co-founder and partner of G7MED, which is a medical education startup, and I'm a professor of Santa Casa de São Paulo School of Medical Science. We, from G7MED, are really excited to bring you to a truly groundbreaking session on innovation in medical education. Today, we'll be exploring the transformative role of holography in teaching and learning, a first-of-its-kind education experience that marks a bold step into the future of how we engage with knowledge and with one another. This session introduces to us a novel model of education, immersive, interactive, and visually dynamic, that is only just the beginning to reshape medical training around the world. I'm honored to introduce two distinguished experts who bring both scientific depth and visionary thinking to the discussion. Professor Giselle Coelho, a leading educator and innovator in health education technology, whose work breeds clinical excellence with immersive learning strategies, including some of the first high-fidelity pediatric surgical simulations. Giselle Coelho has a master's degree in neurosurgery by the Unifesp, Federal University of São Paulo, and a PhD from USP Harvard, with a dissertation in the use of realistic simulation in pediatric neurosurgery. She developed a high-fidelity pediatric surgical simulator, including anatomic models for training in cranial synostosis, and she is the winner of Young Neurosurgeons Award for her innovative contributions to neurosurgical education. She's the scientific director of EduCin Institute, and she now is a Star X Fellow at Mayo Clinic. And joining us from Mayo Clinic, we're thrilled to welcome Professor William Freeman, a recognized authority in medical education and digital health with deep experience in integrating cutting-edge tools like holography into practice-based learning. Professor William Freeman is the director of the StarX Fellowship Program at Mayo Clinic. He is professor of neurology, neurosurgery, and critical care at Mayo Clinic internationally recognized for his work in precision medicine for brain injury. He played a role in the development of therapeutic brain injection protocols, and he's the author of over 230 peer-reviewed publications. He is a co-editor of medical textbooks from Cambridge and Oxford University Press. And he also served as founding medical director of the Mayo Clinic. Today, together, they will guide us through the potential of this pioneering education approach, helping us understand not only what is technically possible, but also what's pedagogically meaningful in this new era of interactive visual learning. So after this small introduction, because your CVs are both really big, I would like to start with you, Giselle, just to tell us about how did you end up being a fellow at the Mayo Clinic StarX Fellowship Program. So please introduce yourself if you want, and tell us how come that you are now in Florida after being a professor here in Brazil.
Absolutely. Good morning. First of all, good morning, Brazil. Good morning, Sim Center. So I arrived here because a friend of mine, he sent me just a message saying, oh, you need to know about this fellowship. This is amazing because combine everything that you like, and you are working in Brazil. So this fellow combines the simulation, telemedicine, robotics, and then I applied and to be here, and I was approved, and then I'm here and so happy because we are able to develop a lot of projects, amazing ones with high technology, you know. It's really a pleasure to be here, and thank you for the invitation to be part of this amazing event in Brazil.
Thank you for making this happen, because we know that you worked a lot for this, for all the structure that you have to develop there at the Mayo Clinic. And I wanted to first thank Professor Freeman for being here with us, and say hello also to the people from Florida, which are also seeing us. And as the principal mentor of all these programs with fellowship, I wanted you to tell us a little bit about this program. What are your fellows coming from, and what is this program that you have, the StarX Fellowship Program? Thank you, Professor Freeman.
Thank you, and good morning, everyone. It's a pleasure to meet you all, even via hologram. So I'm William David Freeman, and I'm the program director of the StarX program. I'm really excited to mention StarX is unlike any other program, but one that we feel truly can scale the globe and how it approaches and harnesses the fourth industrial revolutionary technologies, such as AI and robotics, to help patients wherever they're at, including rural, remote, and underserved areas of the globe. And the concept is simple. We want to have and create new technologies using and combining these technologies to help treat patients wherever they're at.
Oh, that's fantastic. It's interesting because for me, it looks like you're both on the stage now here with me. So it's really different to have this experience. Can we have the first slide? So Giselle, if you could talk a little bit about this StarX program. And I see that you have a box in your hands. So if you could start talking to us and telling us some of the things that you have been developing, and what's this StarX box in Professor Freeman's hands, please.
Oh, yeah. So what we're holding in our hands is basically a casing that's made of a 3D printed radiation shielded polymer called Ultim. And what's inside of the box is actually a miniature supercomputer powered by an NVIDIA Jetson Nano, Orin Nano to be precise. This device runs at least 40 trillion operations per second. With the software upgrade at the end of last year, it got boosted to around 70 trillion operations per second. What does that mean for healthcare? That means literally this is an AI that is multimodal, both text, language, can speak multiple languages, as well as have vision capabilities. So, and it functions without Wi-Fi. So we see this, and one of them is already deployed to Brazil. And we see these literally being deployed all over the world to help patients and sort of an AI-assisted medical triage wherever they are around the globe.
Giselle, can you help us understand a little bit what StarX stands for and some of your experience with this in Brazil? I understand that you already have some experience here, please.
Absolutely. The StarX program is the simulation. So we are working the medical simulation in many scenarios, realistic scenarios, combining augmented reality, virtual reality to train doctors, right? To train doctors to practicing a real patient safely. So besides that, we have also the telemedicine, we have robotics integration, and also, of course, the experimental education that we are doing exactly right now, developing technologies that could be really amazing to train the next generation. And most important, right, to communicate with many countries without borders. This is the main goal of the plan, the project and the fellow.
Can you tell us what's in this slide, please?
Yes, this slide is exactly transmitting what is the fellowship is, right? Is to combine all these technologies to train the next generation. And you can show another one, please. So this is the Jetson that Dr. Freeman really explained about how many operations, right, per second. It's about 40 trillion operations per second. This is important to mention. This is a little box that you'll be able to, you can ask some questions about anything, but especially we are talking here about the medical education, right? You can ask and you can get the answers. And you can get the answers in an offline mode, which is amazing because in these everyday areas, you can use this technology.
So the idea is to use this in places where you don't have internet all the time, and probably you would like to start telling us, what's this here? What were you doing in the Amazon region?
Exactly. We will start testing in Amazon region. As we know in Brazil, this green area is the Amazon region, and we have an undeserved areas, scarce resources, and the main objective is just to increase the access, improve the quality of care there. So this little box is being tested now with, you can show the next one. So in this picture, we can see Dr. Simone Rogério, and she's testing and asking some questions about anything, right? About any symptoms, signals, and signs, sorry, and getting the proper answer for the questions, not only in English, but also in Portuguese. The idea is to expand, so you can have the proper diagnosis, you can have the decision making, you can help people. Yeah, especially in an offline mode, you can have the decision support, triage, especially for emergency situations, right? Also, it would be really amazing to get that data collection for public health, and then you can improve the public politics to improve the assistance in the region, research collaboration, right? Is a method that we have the scalable, low-cost innovation, health assistance in many languages. This is amazing, right? Because we are testing Amazon in Portuguese, and the idea is to provide this little device, right, for indigenous tribes, and to have all the access to the most advanced, and also to help them to get the proper decision support.
Professor Freeman, was this developed at the Mayo Clinic, and do you think that this also have a meaningful importance regarding sustainability, since you don't have to travel, you have the answers on your hand, and it's such a small box that probably this is easy for you to send to many places in the world where you don't have access to information.
Exactly. We think this really democratizes healthcare knowledge by providing it wherever a patient is at. And so being able to ask questions through some of the large language model component, these very small large language models also, due to Moore's law, are becoming smaller and smaller but powerful. And we know that in many medical and neurosurgical and other scenarios that there is a chain of survival. The earlier a patient recognizes the right symptoms, the earlier they get access to treatment. And we think this is one that can globally help scale and help patients regardless of their background or status.
You're talking about the Amazon, you're talking about maybe Africa, some places in Asia, but I want you or Giselle to explain what is this picture standing for. So we are talking about the Earth or beyond?
Yeah, I think one of the locations we anticipated sending this to the device is the most extreme and austere environments in the world or just outside the world, which is the International Space Station. So end of last year, we were invited to an opportunity to the International Space Station. We've also tested this on commercial airliners and without the use of Wi-Fi and its function. So we see this truly being important as human civilization scales, and even potentially to the moon and Mars and other areas where there's very, very long latency for signal communication. So this really provides AI medical information at your fingertips wherever you're at.
That's amazing. So it means that you are working with NASA?
Dr. Coelho submitted proposals using AI in space such as this, yes.
That's fantastic. Besides this, and just a curiosity, is this called Jetson box? Is related to the Jacksons, the Jetsons from the the comics that we saw when we were young?
I think we'd have to ask Jensen Huang, the NVIDIA CEO, but maybe that was his vision.
Okay, Giselle, besides this initiative that you have with the box, with the StarX program, I understand also that you are developing and you also doing this for your fellowship at Mayo Clinic to develop the professor. I'm saying in Portuguese, the professor avatar, which is a professor avatar, if it's the name in English. So this is linked to your program, the NeuroKids program. So if you could talk a little bit about that for us, please.
Yes, for sure. The NeuroKids project is a project that, first of all, I would like to talk about Dr. Worf. Professor Worf is the man that you can see in this picture. So he's a pediatric neurosurgeon from Harvard University, and he developed an important and amazing endoscopic technique to treat hydrocephalus babies. And the hydrocephalus is a huge problem in the world. We have the prevalence of 500,000 babies per year with hydrocephalus and spina bifida. So he developed a technique that combines third ventriculostomy and choroid plexus cauterization using the flexible endoscope. And also he created a project, the name is NeuroKids Project, to train neurosurgeons around the world. So he is able to train the technique to operate together. The big question is how we can have more Dr. Worf, because unfortunately he is only one. The idea to create his avatar is to expand his knowledge, his technique, and for everyone to be able to learn from him as I could, right? It's a huge honor. It's really different when you learn from the professor that really create the technique. So we had the idea to create his avatar. Here we can see he's being captured. So we can, please, the next slide. The idea is to create his really high fidelity avatar in augmented reality. So this is the way that we can phenotypically, we can have his face, his facial expression as well. And we also capture his movements operating the baby simulator. You can see many sensors in his hands, arms, head, all the body was completely captured to transmit. Please, the next one. Yeah, for his avatar. And his avatar was also equipped with artificial intelligence in machine learning. So we were able to ask him questions in English and questions in Portuguese. And he can answer your question during the training. So to explain better, the trainee, you receive the headset. The young neurosurgeon, right? You use the headset and to be able to see Dr. Worf, his avatar.
So
And at the
this is
same
you
time,
using this already in your Amazon project?
exactly. This is another application as well. We start an Amazon project, and it's so amazing because we are able to train some residents there by the first time. And it's interesting thing that we are training them using the realistic simulator. As you can see in that picture, you can see the baby. The baby simulator has hydrocephalus, has a tumor in the pineal region. It's possible to perform the biopsy. They have the bleeding effect. So the residents, besides to have the Dr. Worf mentoring asynchronous mode, right, and be able to have him explain step by step of the surgical technique, you can also practice with proper haptic feedback.
And can you join the images also? Like this?
Yes, I love these pictures because the first one, and we are in many neurosurgeons, all of them, all of us, right? We are trained by the real Dr. Worf. And the idea is to really expand his legacy, right? To train many people from now to be eternal and to be able to transmit for many, many generations what he created, because this technique is really important. Once we use this technique, we are able to save the children, not to use shunts, the ventriculoperitoneal derivation, right? We can avoid this. This procedure has a lot of complications during the life. So once you have the endoscopic procedure, you can avoid this shunt. So this project is really important. It's changed many, many lives. In Brazil, I had an honor to be trained by him. We operated at Santa Casa de São Paulo. And then Dr. Simone in Amazon region also is doing this technique, is performing this technique, and Dr. Milton Toita. And we are able to operate until now 104 babies and 92% of success rate, which is amazing, right? The idea
Sorry,
is to
you
expand.
said more than 100 babies already operated with this
Yes.
guidance of the holographic professor, the
No,
avatar
sorry.
professor?
This is the real surgery. This is the real surgery, Calliari. It's not the training.
No, I
because
mean, but with the
yeah.
guidance of the professor avatar.
Yes, the guidance of Professor Avatar, we are able to train the residents, right?
Okay.
The project is to operate the real babies. What we operated now are real babies because it's possible to train now more realistically with this technique before practicing. So this project is a way to expand his knowledge, his training. We will train many other regions in Brazil, especially in the deserved areas. It will be the main focus to be trained the neurosurgeons there to be able to perform this technique safely.
And you are in the news here, no? MIT news, so things are growing. Congratulations on this fantastic project. Do you believe that this technique, this Professor Avatar will be used in other regions besides Brazil, or is it already being used?
Yes, not yet, but I strongly believe you are just improving the avatar now with more robust artificial intelligence and machine learning, and we can create in many languages for many different regions, countries, right? It's really scalable, and yeah, can change realities. Even in Brazil, right? Because this kind of educational tool can combine the many Brazils. We have many realities inside our country, so combining to have the possibility to bring equality in education and medical assistance will be amazing. This is the main goal of the project.
Professor Freeman, tell us what's needed for a doctor in a department like yours to succeed in developing so many important projects like this. Tell us a little bit about, do you have engineers with you? Do you have technicians? What's your support to develop all these technologies that are amazing?
Yeah, great question. I think collaboration is probably the key ingredient because At a place like Mayo, we're able to really reach out and collaborate with companies like Google and other big companies, industry, with a shared vision of creating something that doesn't exist for the good of the patient. So I think that's sort of the magic, and we love that part of being the StarX formula is being centered around the patient.
And if I may ask, how is the funding done there? Is it governmental money? Is it private money? How do you support all these programs? Because probably the development of such a small box took many years or decades. So how do you support, how's the support being doing in Mayo Clinic?
Yeah, so I think we, again, look collaboratively. So I think the funding for this box came as one of our clinical practice shield efforts to prove that this works as a proof of concept so that we can scale it. Then we look to partner with industry, governmental, military, NASA, right? Also, focused on translation of these ideas into the real world. A lot of these do require collaborative agreements, right? But we think that there are the right partners who share that vision, who want to see this become a reality. So that's the part we're excited about. And
can you tell us a little bit about what kind of project that you already saw that it became a reality of one of those technological programs that you have?
Yeah, I'd say I was going to say years ago, we partnered before the pandemic using with an app to beam into a moving ambulance just to prove we can measure the Inédito stroke scale. And we found that we saved 15 minutes. As you know, 1 minute is 1.9 million neurons lost in stroke. But that company later went public and I think was about $150 million market cap. So that just bespeaks the value creation that exists when you combine technologies around a common patient interest.
I'm going to open the session to questions from the audience. If you want, you can make your question in Portuguese, and I can translate, or you can do it in English. So if someone wants to participate in our discussion, please stand up, state your name, and ask your question.
Hi, my name is Ivy, and I would like to know more about the experience in Amazon and how the doctors are getting the innovation, if they are truly getting on board, or like, I'm not going to do that, so much science fiction.
Yeah, it's really interesting to know. Thanks for the question, how they reacted, because they trained with the Dr. Worf avatar. They performed 10 times the procedure in the baby simulator. After the 4th time, they just noticed that there was an avatar there. They were able to correct their posture, and just looking at like real. The brain, I think it's after some minutes, you would identify the avatar as real person, and will not make this distinction. So we have this scientific fiction, right? Science fiction involved, but at the same time, our brain is able to change and to see the things realistic, and to get the reduction of the learning curve. So what we are working now is to get this data and to evaluate how they improve being trained by only the doctor's Worf avatar.
So it's not only sci-fi, it's also reality.
No,
okay.
It's reality, yes. It's the combination of both. This is the best scenario, right?
Okay. We have another question here. Dora Monica, please.
Monica, you tell about using this for neurosurgery, but how about using this for teaching diabetes people? It's possible?
Absolutely possible. An excellent question, because this is the way that we are building here at Mayo another specialties, because it's possible to apply for any medical specialty. So of course, diabetics, you know, to teach since the diagnosis until the treatment will be very, very important, not only for the avatar, right, training this direction, but also for the baby Jetson nano.
But do you believe that maybe the most important or the most significant improvements would be in specialties where you have procedures, medical procedures,
No.
because then, or you think that even theoretical education would fit in this model?
Yeah, I strongly believe that it will work for both, right, Dr. Freeman? What do you think?
Absolutely, and I think that's the beauty of the StarX concept is it's truly open source in the fact that the world needs us to go down all the different departmental divisions, medical surgical specialties, how powerful that could be to help those patients too.
We have another question here, please.
Hi, my name is Romulo. I'm a medical doctor in the emergency department, and I would like to ask you about the business model of yours. Like, what can you tell us about the financial sustainability of your business, and if it is non-profit or for-profit, and how you can sustain it in the financial point of view?
Yeah, good question. The financial point of view is really important, exactly to keep the sustainability. So yeah, it's profit, and at the same time, we get the investment to start the first phase. And since we have the prototype, we are able to commercialize. And the baby simulator, the realistic one, is already in 7 countries now. So this model is able to accelerate the process to develop new ones. So it's a pretty, good way to make this sustainable and at the same time to expand, right? For many other specialties, we developed projects in dermatology, we developed projects with emergency clinical situations, so there are many possibilities.
Giselle and Professor Freeman, just for me to know if you could proceed a little bit more, because I understand that we are together with the other session at the Florida course. Are we okay with time, or do you need to finish? Do we have one more question here, at least one? Is it okay for you?
Yes, I think one more question, it will be fine.
Okay, Denise, please.
Hi, it was very great for us to see that, but very simple. I'd like to know if you think that it's an experience for the student that can be like humanize more the virtual system as we can be closer. For me, it's a good experience, actually.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, we can make this absolutely more human, and yes, in a way they interact, because this is a good way for our brain to learn in many senses, right, Dr. Freeman?
Yeah, and if I may, on the earlier point about other diseases, we know that chronic health diseases cost the globe $48 trillion. And we also know that there's a workforce gap. In other words, there's not enough doctors, so we have to force multiply. How do we take care of patients at scale? And so the idea using artificial intelligence to help our patients is not only going to be needed, but it's critical to that success, and its value is obvious. And I would just like to thank the StarX program director, who's probably on the electrons, Dr. Leslie Simon, Lori Rice, and all of our staff. And thank you that make this possible.
Professor
Exactly.
Freeman, only one last question here. Do you think that with the improvement of AI, which are growing fast, you will be able to escalate your projects and make them faster and being feasible for us to use in shorter time?
Short answer is yes, probably 100 times faster, at least.
Well, I'd really like to thank you to Professor Freeman, Giselle, Coelho. You were great. I just wanted to know, how was your experience with this holographic transmission? Because for us here, It looked like you were here on the stage with us. You didn't have to catch a plane, leave your offices, leave your families, spend in hotels. So for us, it was great to have you here. I believe that this model will be something that we'll be using much more frequently than we anticipate. But I wanted to know, what about for you? How was the experience? Can you see us? How was it for you?
Yeah, really realistic from our point of view, right? We can interact and no delays, you know, we can see you very well. We can see the audience. It's amazing, amazing experience. I love it. And I fully agree with you. It'll be the start point. We can do a lot of audience, a lot of course like this. You know, we can reduce the gaps. We can abbreviate distance, right? Geographically, economically, with this kind of technology.
Professor Freeman, your last words.
Yeah, it's very futuristic. Let me just say it's the first time I've ever seen myself as a hologram. So I'm extremely grateful to be part of this, and thank you all.
Well, if you are saying that this is futuristic, we are really honored because you are the man of the futuristic things. So thank you very much. It was a pleasure. Thank you all.
Thank you.
With this, we finish our first holographic session, and we thank again Mayo Clinic, Giselle, and Professor Freeman for being with us. Pessoal, obrigado pela participação. Não se levantem. A gente tem agora um favor que nós vamos pedir para vocês. Essa sessão, ela vai ser motivo de um questionário para a gente saber o que vocês acharam disso, porque uma coisa é quem está aqui, outra coisa são vocês que estão aí. Se vocês acharam que isso fez diferença, se é a mesma coisa que se tivesse numa telinha, a gente vai querer saber um pouco a opinião de vocês. Desculpa porque isso aí está em inglês, mas é só marcar xizinho, dizendo se vocês concordam com os statements que tem aí, porque isso aqui vai ser juntado com o pessoal que está lá na Flórida, que também está assistindo lá, e a gente vai ver as percepções como é que são, porque, de repente, uma sessão dessa, ela pode ser útil para quem está presencialmente aqui, mas ela pode ser também retransmitida para outros locais. Então, a gente quer saber qual foi a experiência de vocês e, obviamente, se a gente tem como melhorar alguma coisa. Então, vai ter algumas perguntas que eu vou pedir. Sei que a gente nunca gosta de preencher questionário, mas esse aqui vai virar alguma coisa que vai ser útil, já que a nossa experiência está começando agora. Então, agradeço demais a presença de todos. Queria só fazer um acknowledgement aqui, que esse tipo de sessão, que, para mim, ouvir do Dr. Freeman, que é o cara que mais se entende de coisas robóticas e hologramas, etc., falar que isso aqui é futurístico, então eu queria render as homenagens ao autor desta ideia, o Paulo Betil, que é um louco que tem ideias maravilhosas, a quem eu peço aí uns aplausos, porque realmente essa sessão ela só existe porque existiu na cabeça dele. Então, obrigado a todos. Vou aguardar vocês preencherem e depois vocês estão livres para a gente continuar o nosso G7 Summit. Obrigado.